Hey there, Emma here, and in 2023 I hosted a painting challenge called Dogtober where we painted a different dog breed every day of the month. You may have seen some of the clips that I posted on Shorts at the time, just showing like a few little clips from each painting, but I've decided to go and pull out the real-time footage and share them this year so you can follow along if you'd like to. A couple of disclaimers/explainers. The point of the challenge for me was that I wanted to try and loosen up. I'm a realistic portrait artist, and so I gave myself a smaller size to work with as well as a time frame. I'm painting on roughly about A6 size paper, which is pretty small. In terms of measurements, that's like roughly 10.5 centimeters by 14.8 centimeters or 4.1 by 5.8 inches. And I also tried to set myself a time limit of about 15 minutes. I really wanted to challenge myself to loosen up, but you can approach this any way you like. Maybe you'll do it in a different medium or a certain color palette. The options are endless, totally up to you, but you're more than welcome to follow along, and these are kind of like mini tutorials. I do want to point out though that as this was unusual for me and a challenge to me, not all of them are that good. I really struggled in the beginning to start loosening up, and particularly struggled with the long-haired dogs. But you know, it's an adventure and you'll see me progress through the month and learn a lot. If you want to grab the outline sketches, I have put all 31 sketches into a document, a PDF that you can download from my website. I will link that in the description. You'll just need to pop your email address in, which will sign you up to my mailing list, but then you'll get the document with all 31 outline sketches, roughly about the same size that I'm painting. You're more than welcome to print them, trace them, size them up or down if you need to. I'll be working with my usual set of supplies and mixing colors as well, but I will talk you through the process as we go. Let's jump in. Day 29 of Dogtober, we have a Shiba Inu. I thought this one was going to be a lot easier than I found it. I think the pose just made it trickier, but we will give it a go anyway. So I'm getting started by mixing up some orange using primary yellow and red. Our good old faithful color scheme is back into play. And we are going to start by wetting this dog down. So let's start with these big ears. And we want to do just a soft initial layer. There's this beautiful gradient of fur around the face and neck that I really wanted to capture. So I'm going to very carefully just go around these eyes and leave them out. And take that down the body. Haven't finished the face at this point, but I'm just sweeping under the nose now. So let's exclude the eyes and the nose, but the mouth, we want a bit of a soft gradient happening on there, so we can go over that. Taking that down the cheek and the body, and then we can get started dropping some color in. You will need a bit of a blue-gray color as well. You can see that already on my palette, so you can do that. You can grab a little bit of that orange and move it to the side, and then put some extra blue in there. It's the same color mixture as brown, which I've just created a tiny little bit of now by sweeping some of that blue-gray into the orange. But you just basically need orange and then blue, and slowly adjust that as you go. That'll turn to brown, and if you keep going, that'll go that bluey-gray color. If you see an undertone peeking through like green, which my mixes often do, you need to add the opposite color, which is red. So I'm sweeping some of this color just along the kind of shoulders now on the body. A little bit of orange, brighter orange that I'm going to pop in the middle there, but it was a bit duller on the edges. I'm just spreading that around, and I'll occasionally just take my brush off and dab it on the paper. I'm just removing excess moisture. When the page is too wet, the color won't lay nicely. It'll just sort of explode everywhere. With not much moisture on my brush, but some paint that allows me to do this more precise dropping in of color, I've traced around that ear, then down the face or like the top of the head with a little bit of like a V-shaped marking pointing towards the center of the face. And now I've gone around the other ear. Now I'm just kind of filling some stuff in. We're creating this sort of mask around the eyes. So just very pale now. You don't have all the time in the world for wet on wet, but you can certainly play around with a lighter color initially. It'll just let the water and the color sink into the paper a little bit more, and as it slowly starts to dry, you just get a little bit more control over where that color goes. But like I mentioned, if you dab your brush off as well and reduce the moisture that that's carrying, that'll help as well. Think of your brush as like a vacuum or a leaf blower. I'm just curving some colour around the top of the nose there and around the top of the head, cutting off the ears a little bit. So if you've got too much water on your brush and you're working wet on wet, you put that down on the page and it's going to be like a leaf blower. It's just going to send paint everywhere. But if you have less moisture on your brush than what's on the page, it will act like a vacuum cleaner and it will suck it up. So popping more colour now on the body and just trying to curve like a little bit around a shoulder. Like it's just a very weird pose. It makes it tricky. I've dipped into some of this blue-grey colour now and I'm popping this around the mouth. We've kept that bottom half of the face really pale though. I'm just going to spread that around, control that a little bit, and I'm going to dry that off and we're going to do the rest of this colour building on drier layers. It's just going to be a little bit more precise and easier to manage. But that's all dry now. So I'm going to dip back into some orange and start getting all of that together. Well, I'm going to make some more orange actually. So, you know, I have talked about in previous Dogtober paintings, I was trying to avoid the wet on wets where possible because I think that leans more towards a realistic look than what I'm starting to do here. But I think some of the animals, some of the dogs just had a really beautiful gradient in their fur that I wouldn't have been able to achieve in the same way by doing a wet on dry. So I've just gone around the tips of the ears there and I've made my strokes a little bit thicker at the tip and then made them thinner as they come down and point towards the head. I'm taking some colour up from its back now and kind of curving under its face. And I've taken a watery amount up to its chest as well. Going across the face now, we are going to really emphasize this sort of mask that it's got. So I'm taking it down the eyes and across the top of the head and nose. Taking it a little bit outside the bounds there on the top of the face, but that's okay. Going to rinse off so I've got more of a watery orange on my brush. And then I'm going to fill that in around the eye and the other one. Rinsing off, dabbing off, and then we can just invite that colour down. I'm going to continue to rinse off so I've only got really water on this brush. And that's just going to make that disappear into the white. You don't want to take too long to do this because those edges will dry. Just a bit more colour on my brush so I can kind of smooth this out. And taking a little bit of lighter colour on the inside of those original strokes on the ears. And then I'm just going to lock that into place so it doesn't do anything weird. So I've dried that off. I'm dipping straight into some Mars Black now to paint in the nostrils. So painting in our little comma-shaped nostrils, the little split down the centre. And I'm going to dab off the excess paint on my brush and just very lightly take this down to create the mouth. Just continuing that line down and then taking that mouth opening either side. Grabbing a bit of blue and mixing this into my orange with some primary red to cancel that green out, a little bit of blue to make it darker. Now we've got a brown. So let's go ahead and just gently with a dry brush, well, a dryish brush, very little colour. We are going to wrap around the eye here. So we're not painting the eye in just yet, but I just want to like outline the eye itself. And the other one. And it's totally fine to have that one on the bottom be smaller. Should be anyway, because it's a little bit more squished there as its face is on the floor. Dipping into some blue-grey colour now for the mouth. And I'm just going to lightly take that across the opening of the mouth. It's looking really crazy right now, but we will blend it out. So rinse off, dab off, and go around the edges of that. And just kind of spread that further into that space. It's looking like a little bit of a beard or something at the moment. But spreading that around and we'll just dry it off so it doesn't keep moving and do anything weird. back into some Mars Black. I'm going to paint the nose in. You can do this with the blue-grey colour instead if you prefer. I've just gone straight into Mars Black, and I'm going to highlight the top at this point. So just the top little corner I'm going to highlight. So I rinsed off, dabbed off, and just tried to use a lot of water for that top corner. And that's just left that a little lighter. See how you can see that nostril on the top but not really at the bottom? That's what we want to achieve. And now with a little bit of this orangey brown, I'm just going to carve a few things out. So let's just go around that snout. We want to make that stick out a little bit. So just coming down from the inner corner of the eye and wrapping down onto the muzzle. Going to go a little bit more over the outline of these eyes and deepen up that inner eye corner. Rinsing off, dabbing off. Just putting a little bit of water around the whole muzzle there in the white of the fur. I'm going to dip back into this blue-grey colour and add a little bit more. And that's just going to give it more room to kind of fade out into. It's a little bit easier than what I just did before, which was put the colour down and then invite it out. Both are good techniques and both have their places, but particularly in a white area, that does make it a bit challenging because you're really going to see your edges. Once again, mixing up more of a brown colour here. And we are going to paint the eyes in. So we don't want to fill in this whole gap. We want to leave a little bit of a corner visible. So I've left the inner corner on the top eye. Oh, this one I filled all the way in. That's totally fine. I can't remember if that was intentional or not, but that eye is more squished anyway. With some pale browny blue-grey colour, I'm just going to dab some little dots around the mouth to be like the little whisker dot areas. Dabbing the excess off with paper towel and do it a bit more. I like using paper towel for something like that when you pop a lot of dots down, because quite often, as we are humans, we unintentionally do things that look like a pattern. And dabbing off, the area with paper towel, it can help lift some of that off in an uneven way, and it just makes it look a little bit more natural. What I want to do now is put a shadow on this puppy, because what if I picked up the piece of paper and didn't know it was supposed to be lying down? So I'm going to go with some water under the dog and then grab this blue-grey colour to pop the shadow on the ground. You do not need to use this colour. My thought process was just blue and orange are complementary colours, so it makes sense. But you could use whatever colour you like for this. But I'm just going to tuck that right under the dog and let it flow down. And I'm really glad I got to show you this during Dogtober, because I do a lot of, well, it's not really background, but I do a lot of shading like this at times for my animal portraits. It's just a really quick and easy way to ground something in a painting. And it's still very loose and fun and quick. And we're doing this last because this colour is darker than the subject itself. I will often just do it last though, because I feel like if I did this too punchy in the painting before the painting, I'd have to take that into consideration, and I may not do the painting to the right amount of contrast or value. Whereas if I do it last, I feel like the painting's already where I want it to be. So I've dried that off now, and I've dipped into some white, and we're just going to highlight these eyes. You could also intensify that shadow. I think it could do with another layer on there, but these were intended to be quick portraits. Just popped a little highlight on the top eye there. I don't particularly love where I've just popped that highlight, so I'm going to pop it back on the top of the eye as well. It just didn't look like it matched. And I normally do my highlights, my dramatic highlights, on the top half of the eye versus the bottom. So I went and added another one there to the top of that eye. And there's not much room to put it on the bottom one, so I just really dotted that in the widest part. But with some Mars Black on my 3/0 brush, I'm going to start popping in a couple of little whiskers. So just a couple coming out on the bottom there, a couple on the chin, and a couple coming out from the top part of the muzzle there. So we want to always try and vary up these strokes, point them in different directions, have them slightly different widths, and cross them over each other if you can. I'm just adding some black to my palette into that brown mixture and dabbing the excess off and just darkening up the center of the eyes around the highlights if I can. I don't want to touch them because they're still damp, but I just wanted to give a little bit more contrast to this portrait. Like I mentioned, you could also just go over the background again if you feel like that will give a bit more contrast to your portrait. And then I'm going to dry that off, and that is our Shiba Inu. I hope you enjoy this one, and I'll see you in the next one.